All right, hey guys, I'm David for BigBits. We're going to be doing another live stream here right now. This is Friday afternoon here. What day is it? Yeah, it's the 9th, Friday the 9th. And we have a very important weekly candle coming up here on Bitcoin and Ethereum. The daily charts have bounced, which has been pretty nice. I kind of expected we were going to see something like this. We were either going to be going directly down to the 200-day averages on these, or we were going to hang strong here and hold support here, which also happens to be right around the weekly mid-Bollinger Band. So nice to see these bounces. There is a little bit of an area of concern that you're possibly not going to see the breakout that you want just yet. And I think everything as far as the stream is up and running correctly. For some reason, it's not passing along any analytics, so I can't tell if anyone's actually there. If you're there, just go ahead and say something in the chat. If you got any questions, you want to look at anything, just let me know. I'm not going to be doing any coding right now. I'm finally getting to where I'm mostly caught up with a lot of things, but had some stuff come up with my school classes where I'm having to, and my cat just came up to the window here looking in at me. But anyway, I had some stuff come up with classes to where I've got to create some exams for the students for their midterms, and that's going to take pretty much most of the weekend. And that should be pretty interesting. These are computer security courses, networking security courses where I don't have a ton of experience, but the teaching material should help me through that one. So as you can tell, I have resumed making content again. It was a little bit of a very, very busy period there for a time. But we are live now. Everything seems to be going well as far as trading has been concerned. I haven't been doing a lot. Honestly, I knew we were going to be range bound for quite some time, particularly considering that top around $500 on Ethereum back here at the beginning of September. That was a pretty easy call. There was a lot of divergences going on after a very long period of pretty much nothing but price increases. But let's take a closer look here at what we've got going on, and you can see we have the daily chart pulled up here for Bitcoin, and the price right now is pretty much exactly at the upper Bollinger Band. And this can be what's considered a head fake, although I don't believe this will be an actual head fake. I believe that having these moving averages below us as support and also some other areas as support will help hold and keep everything moving up, but I don't think we're going to break quite up just yet. We're kind of hitting some resistance here. You can tell this kind of area in through here was a bit of resistance. It held as a bit of support back here, and it's acting as a bit of resistance right now. I can imagine we kind of slide back down, maybe close back within this range, hopefully still above the 50-day moving average on Bitcoin. And then next week, I think, is the week where we break out, and that would be to the upside. Of course, there's always still a chance that we break down and that we have this kind of head fake, as we've said here recently, that you could have this fake out. Well, I think that's probably the term most people would actually use. You could have this kind of fake out where the price kind of goes up. It makes you think it's going to break out. Everything kind of looks like it's going to, and then it crashes pretty hard. I still think the 200-day moving average is well in play. I don't think that there's no chance we come back down here. In fact, I was personally hoping and waiting to get in on the 200-day moving average to buy some more, but I did buy some alts today. They were all pretty cheap. It was my payday, so I went ahead and got some of those. But I don't know. I think something's wrong. I usually have at least one or two viewers here, so I don't think the analytics are updating correctly on YouTube. And maybe it's accurate. Maybe I'm not popular today. Or maybe there's something else important going on where people don't want to watch. Regardless, I am still here. I'm going to continue talking that way in case you're watching this afterwards. You can actually get some information from me about TA. And here in a little bit, I'm just going to kind of do something a little bit more fun. I'm going to go through and actually go into Light Night again. I want to check out the map and see what's going on there. and maybe take a look at some other things that are going on as well. So really just kind of a chill stream, checking out a little bit of TA here at the beginning. But let's go back to the TA. I've already talked about the daily charts here, and in the last live stream I did mention I thought we were going to have some upward movement like we did. And I'm going to repeat myself here. I think we kind of stay in a little bit of a range for a few days, and then we break out at the beginning of next week. And that the reason I repeated that is so I could segue into the 1 week chart, because it looks really good as far as momentum changes are concerned, other than the MACD. Okay, so all of our moving averages look great on Bitcoin. Price is moving back up. I would like to see us close above the highs on these candles, or at least the upper part of the closed bars on these candles. That would look really nice. But what's really got me excited is the stochastic weights advanced, which has a lot of the oscillators weighted together. I think this looks really nice. I think this looks really good for a reversal of momentum to move up. And if you're taking a look at where this could take us, there's really no telling. If this were to break out and price were to shoot up again, there's really no telling where it could take us with the prices, because once we take out 11,500 again or so, there's really not much resistance above that. So watching the weekly chart's important, but the monthly chart kind of tells a different story. Hey, John. Nice to see you too. If you got any questions, you want to chat about anything, just let me know. I'm just going to be on here talking, just looking at pretty much whatever I want to today. Not really in a rush. Don't really have a plan on anything to cover. But let's see. Yeah, the YouTube analytics definitely aren't working. I'm not even getting a chat notification from you, John. So something's up with the YouTube analytics for the live stream. But let's go ahead and draw back out to a 2 week chart. I want to slowly move out. Now the 2 week chart is a little bit more interesting, and I think it has a little bit more of a positive look than even the 1 week chart, because our momentum is moving down, but the price is moving up. And excuse me for just a moment. I think I got to sneeze. No, went away. How about that? Anyway, the price is going up, but the momentum is going down. And that means once the momentum does continue to move back up, that it will likely be a big move. I've seen this a lot. And what happens is when you have price moving up and momentum moving down, when the momentum does cross back over, and that's an if it crosses back over relatively soon, it can lead to big moves. And you can see the top of these 2 week Bollinger Bands, which are actually in play quite a bit on these big parabolic type moves. And in fact, they go well beyond those on the parabolic moves. And the next price at the top band is $12,500. By the time the next month rolls around, or the next 2 weeks rolls around, excuse me, we could be looking at something around $13,000 for the upper band, which is very big. I'm not too sure about all of it, but I think next week's going to be pretty good. Zoom out to the monthly chart. And again, this is one of those that I'm not entirely sure about. I'm thinking if we do get that nice crossover momentum and we come back up, just looking at these Bollinger Bands up at the top, it does not look like something where it will immediately go up and continue going straight up. What I was talking about the other day, and what I'm still kind of thinking is very likely, is that we come back up to the top, the upper band. It kind of range bounds up here until the mid Bollinger Band catches it on the monthly chart, which will probably happen sometime in early part of 2021, and then it will continue up. But of course, that is just a wild guess pretty much at this point. This is all kind of based on experience and looking at how these bands kind of interact. And even though we're going to have a lot of volatility, essentially, to get the price to move up above that band and continue going up. It's going to have to be a lot of volatility. It's going to have to be something very similar to what happened back here. And I'm on a normal scale chart. Let me switch back over to logarithmic. I was on a normal scale chart there because of the Bollinger Band, which I hate that it does that sometimes, but you can see got a lot going on here. And let me actually just scroll over and then we zoom in. So I think the logarithmic chart looks completely fine. I just hate looking at the logarithmic on Bitcoin and Ethereum on these longer time frames just because of that. I think if this month finishes really strong and say we're up here towards the upper band at the end of this month, maybe momentum continues to move up, but it did seem like the acceleration in the momentum slowed down. You can see the gap decreased between the two. You would pretty much call that the histogram for the stochastic advance. And this would be like if the histogram on the MACD started decreasing like it did back here, you would kind of start to think that maybe it's about time for momentum to be shifting downward. But there is still a lot of time in the month to kind of determine what might happen in the future. And the fact that the price is hanging around up here above these former support and resistance are really good. We're hoping that these have flipped. Right now, this line's looking pretty good. And as I mentioned, I think in the last live stream, this one on the monthly chart is the former resistance that we need to flip to support. Now, it doesn't have to come back down and test that line, but it could very well need to prove for a solid and long bull run. And looking pretty much at Ethereum, it's just about the same thing. We were way over the monthly Bollinger Band, came back down, and honestly, it still looks very bullish. Everything looks very, very bullish on these larger time frames. The only thing I'm really having much problem with is shorter time frame alts. So let's go ahead and take a look at Link, and it has bounced quite a bit today. And I'm very glad I made my purchase first thing this morning. As soon as I realized I had gotten paid, I did buy some Link today. I have been accumulating some Link since the price dropped dramatically. I got in at the exact bottom a little while ago. I think that's about 2 weeks ago, which was about my payday. Let's see. Yeah, it was about my payday 2 weeks ago. So I got in at around $7 to $8, I think. So I was really happy with that. I got in this morning at $9.50, $9.40, something like that. If I've seen OST, I have not looked at it yet, Mahan. I'll take a look at that next. But I'm pretty happy with Link here and my play here. I can already tell when we zoom out to the weekly chart, it's going to have lost a lot of its downward momentum, and it's going to look like it's going to want to come back up. Yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying. The stochastic weight's advanced. You can tell it's losing momentum. If this was like the MACD down here, well, my head's in the way. If it was like the MACD down here, and I still can't tell if my head's in the way. I don't think it is here. But if it was like the MACD down here and we had a histogram, you could see that the gaps between these two lines are decreasing now. And it very well could mean that there is another run on price incoming. So that would be very nice if that's the case. Let's go ahead and take a look at the one that you're wanting to look at there, Mahan. OST BTC. And I got to be honest, I don't remember what OST is, but it looks like it's having a hell of a week here. Wow. That definitely looks like some of the alts that we had dealt with a few months ago when they had found their bear market bottom and they had finished accumulating. So I think if you get a dip on this one, it might be a good one to hang on to. But then again, I don't know any of the fundamentals about that project. I honestly don't know anything about that one. It's very suspicious, just the gigantic move on the daily chart for today. I personally would not be involved with this one, just because that is just super suspicious for me. I don't like to play these. Of course, there's a lot of money to be made and lost on these types of plays, but that's not my game. I have I have other plans for my money other than risking it on something so volatile. Bitcoin and Ethereum are volatile enough for me, and just playing some of the alts, that's like gambling for me, honestly, just on spot. But that's interesting, because if you do get a dip and it comes back down to those moving averages, even though I'm very suspicious of this, if it comes back down to these moving averages, I would consider a buy here. Just completely speculative gambling type move, just because. I mean, that's a lot of volume. Something changed. I don't know what, but if you were going to take a gamble, or I should say if I were going to take a gamble, that's where I would do it. Wait for the price to come back down to one of these, and if it doesn't do it, oh well, you just missed the move. That happens. These types of moves are rewarding those who accumulated during this huge period of time where the price basically didn't go anywhere. So I am getting a little bit of updates on the YouTube live stream now. It's showing some concurrent viewers now where it wasn't before. Explain label. I want pivot label first bar of day, week, month. Not entirely sure I understand. I think you want a label that just shows up on the first day of, or the first bar. So you're looking at trying to find a bar on an intraday chart, like you're looking at a 1 minute resolution chart and you want to see the first 1 minute bar of the particular day or the particular week or the particular month. Let's see. There is a function in Pine for day of the week, and you can just use the time function to figure out if it is the first one. You have to use a modulus. Basically, what the modulus operator does, it allows you to determine the remainder of whatever you've divided by. So, you divide 20 by 9, you leave a remainder of 2, because your answer would be 2 remainder 2. Once you multiply 9 by 2, you get 18. You have a remainder of 2 left over to get to 20, right? So when you use this modulus to get the remainder, when you're doing these time calculations, you can divide it by the number of seconds or whatever the time calculation gives you to tell you if you're at 0, which means that would be the first bar in the day. And you can use that to plot your label when you have a 0 value. They also have a day of the week function. So what you would do is you would have to check that the day of the week is Sunday and that the time is 0 on your remainder calculation. That would tell you that it's Sunday, the first day of the week, or whatever first day of the week you consider it to be, and the time is 0. You put your pivot there. And for the month, that I'm not entirely sure. I don't recall if there is a function to get the day, the number of the day in Pine. Let me see if I can't look it up. Give me just a moment. And my browser is going super slow. All right, yeah, there is a day of the month function. So this is going to return a series of integers. So I assume in this case you'll be looking to find the day of the month is equal to 1, and you would do that. So hopefully that will work for you. Again, I haven't played around with Pine in a little while. I've been busy with my college courses I've been teaching. So I'm pretty rusty with Pine right now, and we'll pick back up with it soon. I have some video ideas that we're going to be doing here over the next couple of months, and hopefully just some other ideas just in general. I'm hoping to get into a little bit different content. I like this. I like the live streams. I like chatting with people who show up and just kind of doing some stuff that I actually like, as opposed to just focusing on pumping out videos. But I want to take a look at some of the other coins that I focus on personally. Let's take a look at basic attention token. And I need to pull up my studio, make sure I'm not in the way on these. Okay, so basic attention token, I'm a little bit worried just looking at this chart. It does show its momentum flipping, but it is underneath of all the moving averages, which is not good. I don't know really. I really don't have a good feeling for this one. Like I said, it's below all those moving averages. It would have to move really hard up like it did move down to really show me anything. Let's see, prices are around where they were back in May. We haven't been below the current price a whole lot. And of course, I'm on Kraken, which I don't think they have the most price history. Let me change over to something else. I don't know how I got on Kraken. Anyway, we're going to look at Binance now. You can see there's not a ton of history here recently below this price. I would say, honestly, this is probably about the median price for basic attention token. If not, the median price might actually be a little bit higher, somewhere around 25 cents. It's definitely within this range, and I think as long as we hold higher lows, I think basic attention token looks completely fine. If this is the low, that is a very promising sign, because as far as lows go, we haven't had one that high since back here, which was followed with another nice increase in price. So John, you're saying, is it possible to backtest a strategy on multiple stocks at a time and see the combined result? From what I understand with TradingView the way it is right now, I don't believe that is possible with their built-in system. Now, if you're clever enough, you can figure out a way to do this in the code by creating your own code to simulate positions. So what you would have to do is you would have to create your strategy. Well, no, you wouldn't even use a strategy. It would have to be an indicator, essentially, to where you would have to have a variable that would measure your cash and your positions and all this other information. Essentially, you would have to create your own backtesting mechanism within Pi, which honestly isn't terribly hard to do, but it is very time consuming, and it's not very friendly to have to do that, considering they have the system built in for an individual one. Maybe that's one of the features that they have coming in the future. It's been a while since I've looked at their feature list. But Mahan, does it allow you to actually trade with a different security from a single strategy? I can't recall. I sat here and I said it didn't allow you that, but if you use a security function, perhaps it will allow you to do that. We'll have to look at the strategy calls. Because I think I did something similar to this. I've had this question a lot, and I remember answering the same thing, but maybe you can make an order. Again, I'm really rusty with Pine right now. All right, so strategy entry. Okay, so it doesn't appear to be giving you an option to specify the security when you're doing your entry position. Let's see if it gives you one on the order. That might be different. I don't see an option here to pass in a security. So likely if you were to check for other securities, it's going to be basing your positions off of the price of whatever security you're looking at on the chart. So if you're using a chart for Bitcoin and you're running a strategy where you're looking at prices for Ethereum, essentially all you're going to be doing is trading Bitcoin in your strategy, but all of your logic is going to be based off Ethereum. The long condition, let's see, strategy dot long, is that what you mean maybe? No. So I'm not seeing a way to do it unless their stuff's out of date here, which maybe that's the case. And again, like I said, I'm very rusty with Pine right now, so it's hard for me to answer these questions at the moment. I haven't had a lot to do with it here in the last month or two. But I'm going to continue looking at TA right now. We'll come back to some of the Pine questions in just a little bit. All right, I'm going to take a look at basic attention token on the weekly chart. There is some hope, and that is this large wick on the bottom of this candle. It is showing some hope here for a reversal on the momentum. If it holds above these moving averages, I think it's going to be fine. This very well could be the best buying opportunity you get in a while if we are about to start a new cycle here. Hey, chart guys. Yeah, we're talking a little bit about Pine. I am really rusty on it right now. I've been doing network security courses for college. I've got about 40 students or so who I've been working with, and it's taken a lot of time from Pine. So I'm a little rusty, but we can talk about it. Right now, I'm just looking at TA. I like that for potential support. What's funny is I got my master's degree when I was 25, and I started teaching college when I was 27. I've been on contract as an adjunct professor since I was 27. That was a while ago now. Probably about 6 or 7 years ago, something like that. And there was like 1 year where I didn't have courses, but other than that, I've been teaching college courses for the last 6 or 7 years. And if you don't know, an adjunct professor pretty much just administers the courses. I don't like curate the content for the courses. I'm mainly there to facilitate the course and make sure that the students get through the course, they complete their assignments, and there are instances where I have to like know the material, step in and help people answer their questions, create assignments. I'm having to create midterms now, which is a mess. That's probably going to be a lot of effort, but that's all right. I've got this weekend to do it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at something else. I like basic attention token there. If it holds those moving averages, I think it'll be just fine, but we'll see. We've already looked at Link, we've looked at OST, we've looked at basic attention token. Let's take a look at another DeFi play, KNC, Kyber Network, excuse me. This one's kind of ugly, but that is a weekly chart. I don't think it has as much history on Coinbase as it would Binance. There we go. So yeah, Kyber Network came down nearly all the way to its 50-week moving average, which was below $1, by the way. And one of the reasons I bought in on Kyber Network at one point was because it has a low circulating supply. Relative to Link and some of the other ones, I really liked Kyber Network because of its low supply, and there was a demand for it. But looking at this chart zoomed out, what I'm noticing is a very key level right here. We are at this key level. Look at this. This is a beautiful chart. I mean, the price history and action line up throughout its entire history. It held some major support here back in 2018. Turned to a little bit of resistance. Once it was lost, was resistance here. They broke through it, and if it turns back to support, that would be a very good sign. I think it's very likely that it does hold as support. We got the bottom Bollinger Bands catching up quickly to the price. I think that it will hold. I think in general, pretty much everything on the charts looks like there's a good chance that the momentum changes in the next week to two. Might take 3 weeks. Usually I'm pretty, I'm trying to think of the right word for it. I'm pretty optimistic, I guess you would say, about price changes occurring very quickly. I usually think that things are going to happen much quicker than they actually do. All right, so that's Kyber. I don't want to drill all the way out to the month on Kyber. Kyber, I don't really care too much about it. Let's see. You know what? I'm just going to pull up my phone and see what I got in my portfolio. How's that for transparency, right? Let's see. Where is my app? Here we go. There's a couple of them I forgot about already. Matic. For some reason, Matic is being like completely ignored. I thought it had a decent chance. It's not looking too great on the weekly chart here. This is kind of an important area, but you can tell the reason I really liked it was because it seemed to be holding higher lows at just about every point. So your low, obviously where you started, there were some lows here and here, but it didn't want to go below that, and that's when I wanted to buy it back in through here. I thought that the lows were very impressive, that they didn't continue to decrease like some of the other ones did, and I think it held up really strongly throughout that bear market. And the call for more of the second layer for Ethereum, I thought was a really nice positive for Matic. It uses Plasma, and for some reason it's being ignored for the most part. Maybe it's not a good project. I don't have much of it. Let's see, what am I looking at? Maybe like a couple $100 of Matic. Not much. That's why I don't worry too much about it. Let's see. What else? Stellar. I've got a little bit more Stellar. Let's see. Let's go to Binance. This chart actually looks really good. It looks like it's a little bit ahead of some of the other ones as far as momentum is concerned. It looks like its momentum might have kind of bottomed out last week, and its stochastic might cross over this week if it finishes strong enough. Now it is below those moving averages, which is a little concerning. Let's look at the daily chart. Daily chart doesn't look so great, but this is one of those positions where I'm not too confident in making a play either way, other than long-term holds. I don't think this is an area where I would trade anything right now. It's pretty much a coin flip in my opinion. I think we're range bound on Bitcoin. And as I said, I think Bitcoin can come all the way back down to its 200-day moving average. If Bitcoin comes down to its 200-day moving average, alts will get hammered again, and I will just buy more Bitcoin and alts when it comes down there, because I don't think it's going to be closing below its 200-day moving average anytime soon. That's just my personal opinion. Okay, let's see, what else do I got here? I have 6 cents of Harmony token. I believe that's what it is. I guess I got those through a referral. Let's see what else. I've gotten some Uni. Let's check out Uni. This course is pretty new, so there's not much data to work with. Yeah, not much going on there. Alright, yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with charts and TA. I want to play around with Light Night right now. And yeah, I've got a lot of stuff in my Steam library. I used to play games a lot more. I don't even know if you can hear. I have my desktop audio off. Alright, so we looked at the COVID-19 survival before. We've already been in the sandbox. And we've already been in the military base. So let's go back to the COVID and check that out. I've got my volume on. I just don't think anything's actually coming through. There we go. What I really wanted to do was kind of explore the map. I'm not sure if they give you enough time to actually do that or not. This is pretty laggy as far as the FPS is concerned. I think it's probably due to the fact that I'm recording right now. I've had this issue before. Oh boy, did it crash? That's not a good look. No? Okay. I think it's mostly my computer, honestly. Yeah, it's kind of like freezing up just a little bit. But it is nice to see a little bit more of the environment. There's no texture to these rocks, so that's interesting. Oh my. Oh cool. Found a skeleton. There's a treasure map. Let's see. If this is a treasure map, where would we be? What is going on? Okay. I guess we are probably at the bottom right cave. Let's see if we can find another cave. Is it not going to let me go that way, really? Okay. I think one of the things they really need to work on is their feel. The game just doesn't feel that great to play. Or, well, I should say, it doesn't feel that great to move within. And look, it started us back at the beginning. I'm going to try and get to that island now. So there is some stuff down there that's part of the map. Got some texture to it. See if I can't get over to the island. Does it allow you to swim? No, you cannot go there. There's some mushrooms. Oh, you can get in the boat. Now can I get in the water? No. Interesting. I don't see any way to interact with them either. I think what would be a really cool touch if the developers do ever end up watching this, which I know they watch some of my videos because I do their dev blog updates, but if you're watching this, you're a developer, think it'd be really cool if you had some of the boats just kind of wandering around. I've already lost. I can go back out and check out some more of this stuff. And I think I'm going to be done with Light Night. I'm not really feeling this. It's definitely come a long way. I'm really more impressed with the things they're doing in the back end with their store and managing skins and things like that. I think that's what's going to be the core success of Light Night. Whether or not people actually play the game and it makes any money or anything, we'll see. But I think the core success of Light Night is going to be just the example that it sets with using NFTs on Bitcoin side chains and rewarding people with Bitcoin and using Bitcoin as a currency in a game. Just doing these things, I think, are going to be huge for Bitcoin, and that's why I support it pretty much no matter how crappy the gameplay may end up being or how good it may be. I just think that the things that it's going to be doing for Bitcoin are going to be huge. I don't know many kids who would look at a game where they would be rewarded for playing and not want to play it. So if we can get up on top of that rock. Especially, in countries where you're not making a lot of money, I could imagine that it's actually going to be really popular. Look, I can shoot all the way across the map. I think there should be some damage reduction or something. I mean, I'm all the way across the map. There's no way these bullets should be destroying them that easy, right? Oh my gosh. I think I missed the entire clip. There we go. Total score was 265 and I didn't try at all. I'm not even logged in. Apparently you're supposed to be able to get rewards. Maybe I should log in. I'm not going to do that right now though. I'm not too worried about it. I think that's it. I think I'm done for now. And if you're curious about playing games, the only games I really play anymore are it's pretty much just World of Warcraft because it's pretty much all I've played since I was in high school. I really don't even play it that much anymore. I just kind of log in and go kill some of the stuff from the old raids to collect transmogs and stuff like that, or mounts. Hardly ever play any new games at all anymore. It's tough when you have 2 or 3 jobs, 2 kids, a wife. It's tough, but I still find time to do some kind of things like this. And I might be doing more of it on the stream here. I don't know. I kind of think it'd be a fun idea to try that out. But I think that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all for those of you who did come by and stop by in the chat, ask questions and stuff. I really appreciate you all coming by and just talking to me and having a good time. I really enjoy doing this stuff when you all come by. But that's it for now, guys. Thanks. I hope you all have a great day.